Final Score Friday with Sports Director Lane Casadante and Sean Robertson. Sponsored by Oak Valley Custom Hardscapes, Blazer Heating, Air and Plumbing, and Central Atlantic Toyota.
Good evening, everyone. It is week 7 of Final Score Friday, meaning everybody is past the halfway point of their regular seasons, including us. We are happy to have the Mills Godwin cheerleaders with us as we get through a baker's dozen games tonight, starting with our game of the week, which on paper didn't appear to be much of a contest, with one side having a great deal of success in the series.
I remember those defeats. Top-ranked Dinwiddie hosted Petersburg, having won the last 18 meetings between the two, but the Wave is off to a 4-1 start with head coach Jerome Mathis, and as of tonight, had at least one home playoff game coming their way in Region 3A. Meanwhile, Dinwiddie came into tonight as the 5th seed in Region 4B with a 6-0 record. First quarter, Zion Boyso with a 4-yard touchdown run up the middle. PAT is good. 7-0 Generals after a quarter. Second quarter, Wave quarterback Stanley Green finds Javeri Mallory, who makes a great catch, takes a pop, puts the ball on the ground, but Demarion Moss finds it and takes it in for the score. They would miss the 2-point conversion and trail 7-6.
Fortunate.
Very good. Later in the second, Boyso scrambles left, drops a dime to Tamari Buford, who makes a move and goes 54 yards for the score to give Dinwiddie a 14-6 lead. Near the end of the half, Joshua Adams, there's some cheerleaders, Dinwiddie, they were here last week.
They were.
Joshua Adams with a 4-yard touchdown run. He had 2 scoring runs on the night. Dinwiddie led 21-6, and they would improve to 7-0 on the year after a 38-6 win over Petersburg.
Real tickled with how those guys got after it and matched it, hit for hit. It was a real physical football game, one of the more physical games we played. So, hats off to those guys.
Out to the East End for our reigning team of the week, Highland Springs hosting Henrico. The Springers would actually start the playoffs on the road if the season ended this week. Homecoming for the Springers. They are already up big at the half, 42-0. Eric Bird is going to come up right through the Warrior defense with a 55-yard touchdown run that made it 49-0. Henrico did what they could, tried to get a little going on offense. Jalen Wilson is going to come up with a nice catch here for a 30-yard gain, but the Springer defense would get into the act with a scoop and score on a fumble. It was all Springers tonight on homecoming as they roll 77-0 over the Warriors.
From this afternoon, number 2 Benedictine hosting Collegiate. The Cadets sit atop the private school playoff rankings this week, while Collegiate started the day just outside the top 4 rankings at 5th. First quarter, second offensive play with Tony Elliott and Des Kitchings from UVA, who are the number 1 seed in the ACC. How about Carson Lambert to Joe Johnson in stride, who goes 99 yards on the second play from scrimmage for Benedictine. They're up 7-0. I think Tony Elliott was smiling on that touchdown. Second quarter, same score. Fred Dolan started a big afternoon for him. A 10-yard touchdown run. He had 3 scoring runs on the day. 13-0 Benedictine. Lambert would have a 4-yard touchdown run before the end of the half. They cruise and remain undefeated with a 36-0 win over Collegiate.
Down to Chester, where 6th-ranked Thomas Dale hosted Matoaca. This game hasn't been decided by more than 2 scores in 8 years, and it wasn't tonight either. Second quarter, Knights are up 8-0. Then in the dark zone defense, Javarius Thomas Tucker is going to come up with back-to-back sacks here, and it is just so tough to get a yard off of that defense. And in the third quarter, Matoaca tries to go through the air, but as Xavier Brown is going to come up with the interception to keep them off the board on that drive. Fourth quarter, Matoaca finally breaks through. Stephen Ankiel with a 12-yard touchdown pass to Mackay Sampton, and that brought them to within 8-6. Right into your living room. Great catch right there. But with less than a minute to go, Cole Lineberger, just like he did 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Last week against Meadowbrook.
Yeah. Against Meadowbrook. 7-yard touchdown run, less than a minute to go. That puts the game away. Knights win 14-6 to remain undefeated.
He might be their MVP this year, speaking of Cole. Out to the East End, 10th ranked Armstrong hosted Greensville. The Dragons looking to avenge last year's shutout loss to the Wildcats. Last year was the first ever meeting between the two. It was homecoming over at Armstrong, and they picked it up. How about Anthony Hanson to Shadarius Pickett? He takes it down the sideline for the touchdown, and the Wildcats have a 7-0 lead. More for Armstrong and the offense and the quarterback. Handsome this time to Jackie Cotman. Breaks a couple of tackles. He's coming into your living room for the score. 14-0 Armstrong. They will tack on a Henry Nolan 35-yard field goal. Armstrong, how about the Fighting Pruitts? 59-6 over Greensville.
Big win over the Dragons tonight. If the playoffs started tonight, the Hanover Hawks would be the top seed in Region 4B. 5-0. They hosted Mechanicsville tonight. The Hawks had won 5 straight against the Mustangs. First quarter, they drive right down the field on their first possession. 4th and goal, and the snap almost goes over everybody's head, but J.J. Parker corrals it and then scoots in from 3 yards out. First of 2 touchdowns he had in the quarter. Hawks led 14-0. Later, Mustangs driving, but Cam Metzger is going to get picked off by Jackson Hortz. That led to another touchdown in the last play of the quarter. The Hawks led 21-0 after the first. Second quarter, though, Mechanicsville gets on the board. Metzger's going to go up top, 58 yards to Demarion Wiggins as he gets it and gets past the defender, and he's gone. That made it 21-7, but Joel Nicholson would connect with Caden Hughes, and the Hawks move to 6-0 with a 40-10 win over the Mustangs tonight. Big showdown next week as they go to Varina. Still to come, plenty more scores and highlights from Week 7 of Final Score Friday.